before I had disabilities in many areas. Okay, that's the excitement of innovation, is, you know, getting things, overcoming obstacles, and moving forward. Putting my glasses on gets harder and harder every night. Okay, now basically, you know, employee retention is very important. Okay, a key employee, losing them hurts a lot. Okay, I've talked to a lot of companies, and the best situations I find is when they have a centralized accommodations place where the employees can go and sometimes even anonymously request an accommodation and get it approved. Because if you have to go right to your direct manager, you're a little worried about what that person's going to think when you're disabled. I know, because I used to work, you know, many years ago while I had Parkinson's, and I had to worry about what the people thought. Are they worried about, am I going to be able to work for X amount of years? Am I going to be able to worry about this? I know about all those thoughts. And this is very real, and, you know, it's very worrisome, unfortunately. Okay, like I said, people with disabilities tend to be innovators because they have to find ways to be creative, to work around the situation that they're in the first place. So if they're naturally doing that in the first place, they become problem solvers. Okay, necessity is the mother of invention. Let me give you an idea of some of the innovation that I've come up with. I was doing a project for the Department of Defense at the Pentagon. Everything at the Pentagon, voice, data, and communication, can be brought up remote if that building were to disappear today in a classified amount of hours. I was working for a small 8A business, woman-owned business that was owned by someone else at the time, and we got to our quota of what we had for this project very quickly. As a matter of fact, in 2 weeks, I had my side fully staffed. The other company did not. I get a call from the Pentagon. Bill, we need a person. We need this, this, and this. It's crucial. Can you help us? I said, of course. I said, well, let me tell you the other part. We can't pay you. We're going to have to pay the other company when you place this person. I'm like, 18 people on billing for the next 2 years. I think I can give up one to help you out. So they give me this great rec, top secret, blah, 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 almost impossible, like almost like a Ruby on Rails developer, you know, that difficult to find. I go through everything. I find 5 people in the entire world that could even possibly think of doing this. Like, well, this is just fantastic. And I'm not going to get paid for it. So this is great. So it's time to think outside the box, make my first phone call. Pete, hi, this is Bill Evans. I represent the United States Department of Defense. I have a matter of national security that I need to speak with you today. Please give me a call back. All 5 of them called me back that day. None of them could do the job. And the ones that, well, the 2 that could weren't available. But one of them knew somebody who was that started that Monday. The current Secretary of Defense invoked national security privilege and allowed me to staff the other half of the project from then on. Okay, thinking outside the box. Sometimes it's as simple as, how do I get this done today? You know, how do I get it done right? And how do I do the impossible? Which everybody, there's plenty of staffing firms here in the audience, you know that doing the impossible is the key to success in the IT staffing industry. Okay, I work from notes, so bear with me. Okay, so basically, do we have the video queued up? Yes. Okay.
The more active, the better for Bill Evans. He enjoys lots of sports. These are some of his other moves. Bill has taught martial arts for 25 years. His son David is one of his students, winning national honors and raising money for the Michael J. Fox Foundation because his dad, who is only 45, has Parkinson's disease.
I realized somewhere around 38 years old, my hand started shaking, my right hand started shaking. Those were the first symptoms.
Bill says over time it got worse and then his legs would shake. Right now he takes 3 medications to control the shaking, but there are still challenges.
Your everyday things like tying your shoes becomes difficult, whereas walking and doing other things are not.
Bill has what is called early onset Parkinson's disease, diagnosed under the age of 60. Of the 1.5 million Americans with Parkinson's, 10 to 20% are diagnosed under the age of 50, about half of those before the age of 40. Bill has been able to continue working full-time, running his company, because all of the work is done over the phone.
It's Middle Fairfield County.
Continuing to work is important for younger people with Parkinson's, but Bill's drugs will become less effective with time. He encourages others with Parkinson's to take part in clinical research, like the one at Yale he was in to help find a cure or a big advance.
It's important that these trials are done so that we can find out what works and what doesn't to get people that are in my position the help they need.
Well, that guy on the screen is a better presenter than me. Okay? Basically, the reason I'm here today is to answer any questions now or after about disabled-owned business enterprises. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, most of you are familiar with the USBLN. Okay, the USBLN certifies disowned business enterprise, DOB or DOBs, okay, is the name of the businesses. And if you have a specific skill that your company is looking for, please see me afterwards and I will try and hook you up with the appropriate company within the USBLN that is certified to help you out. Okay, my niche is IT staffing. I find hard to find computer professionals for companies that need them. Okay, I'm also working on a program for Dodd-Frank's compliance, which seems to be a real thorn in the side for a lot of companies getting that taken care of because of the fines and the penalties and the fact that there's jail time involved. Fun stuff, but getting it taken care of, and I found a way to find the resources specifically for that the companies need. So I'm carving out that niche, and basically, like I said, the main thing here is to let everybody know that people with disability doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care who you are, how old you are, how young you are. It doesn't care what you look like, where you come from. It can hit anybody at any time. Okay, with that thought in mind, disability inclusion, does anybody have any questions about the certification, the USBLN, or disability in general? Yes?
Is this part of the Ability One program as well?
The Ability One program is, what's that from?
The NISH program under the federal government for severe disability people?
No. The Dodd-Frank's is financial compliance thing that I'm specializing in for IT. Anybody else have any questions? Yes?
When you're reaching out with companies, who's your target audience for being able to present yourself as a certified business with disability ownership? Is it through the diversity officer, or are there other channels within HR that you can bring that message to see if they have any special program?
Right now, I have a list of companies that I'm bringing on slowly, one at a time, to work with, because you can't grow from a several $1 million company to a $100 million company overnight. But like I said, Comcast has, right now, one of the highest managers in Comcast has personally requested that I work on one of his requirements, okay, because of our performance so far. NBC Universal was kind enough to produce that video that you saw. They're also owned by Comcast. And I have about 7 Fortune 500 clients right now that I'm working with. So, my pain is growing too quickly. I know that, there's about 17,000 minority and women-owned businesses in the country. There are only a couple hundred disability-owned companies. So if anybody here has a business and is disabled, come up and see me also. I will help you, walk you through the processes, how to get your certification so that you can get more business. And, because the companies, the disabled-owned businesses that are working now are going to lead the future of what, companies think about working with disabled-owned businesses. Okay, any other questions? Yes?
How often do you place a disabled employee?
That's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. What I do is when I find an IT individual that is disabled, that is looking for a job, I will call around. And I don't think this is a big secret, so I'm going to give away one of my trade secrets. To get clients in IT, you have to have the goods. So what I do is I call up a company with a really good candidate and say, hi, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll use Pete again. Hi, Pete. Bill Evans with Current Staffing. Listen, I have a Ruby on Rails developer with XYZ. I get excited about this person. I have the actual person that's ready to work for them. And they say one of two things. That's great, you know, let me take a look at this person's resume, or I don't have an opening for that skill right now. Okay, when they say that's great, let me take a look at the person's resume, then I open up the dialogue. Now I'm talking to somebody who I have something that they're interested in, and I'm interested in working with them. Now what I do is I find somebody with a disability, and I do the same thing, and I've had Amazon.com rewrite their employment test as a accommodation for an individual with a disability. Okay, I've had all kinds of great success with helping find people specifically with disabilities. But can you tell me you want a Ruby? Well, let's do something a little easier. Can you tell me you want a network engineer that's specifically disabled? No, because sometimes it's hard enough to find network engineers just as it is without putting other parameters around it. So I use the reverse. When I find a person with a disability that's a valuable individual, especially an IT professional, I go to work, I develop new clients, and I have a list of clients that are ready to work with me. Okay, because like I said, the manager's going to say one of two things. That's great, send this person's resume over, or I'm not looking for that right now. When they say they're not looking for that right now, what are you looking for? And I start the dialogue. And the fun begins from there. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. I thank you for allowing me to shake it up a little up here. Thank you for your time. Everybody have a great day.